Hello, my name is Pierce Coins, and welcome to the history of Digimon Digital Monsters Season 1.
Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon are the champions. Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon are the champions. Change into digital champions to save the digital world. Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon are the champions. Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon are the champions. Digimon into champions. Digimon into ultimate. Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon are the champions. Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon are the champions. Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon.
Now, the reason why I am doing this is because this is a series I am most familiar with as a kid, and I figured I'd do a history on it for YouTube and stuff. So without further ado, let's begin. So basically, Digimon is an anime series that originated in 1999, close to when I was a few years after I was born. And this series has to do with a group of 7 kids who go to summer camp while there is like weird things happening with our planet's climate, such as rainforest drying out, which technically is very common nowadays, and other places getting totally flooded with oceans like that are like brown and stuff, and cities which are normally blazing hot in the summertime. The first episode takes place mainly around the summertime. So basically, it starts snowing in summertime, and then it introduces the characters, and they get sucked into the Digimon's world called the digital world, and they meet their partners, so to speak. The creatures that they meet in the digital world are basically, how shall I put this, bioorganic, computer-based life forms, I guess you could say. Each of the main characters, including another character that's going to show up later on in the series, have backgrounds to which how they became the Digidestined in the first place. How the kids became the Digidestined in the first place, it took place about 4 years ago at the time, when 2 Digimon fought near the heightened terrace or Daiba area, and they witnessed it, but since they were like 4 years old, they didn't remember. And up till now, up till the time they were in the Digi world, they didn't even know about the creatures.
The problem with you is pretty easy to figure out. You're upset because you want to be the boss.
The main character, Tai, he's sort of like the leader of the group. Being the first character that shows up in the first human character that shows up for the Digimon series, I'm going to talk about Tai's character first. Tai is not like all the other kids at summer camp, whereas they're all goofing off and they're hanging out. He's going over his multiplication tables in his head up here. And he has a younger sister who I mentioned before won't show up till later. And after that, they get sucked into the Digi world, and he meets his partner, Koromon, and Koromon somehow knows his name, but he doesn't know why at first, because it's strange to him, because this is the first time he has actually physical contact with him. And Ty, like I said, is sort of like the unsung hero, like the unsung leader of the group. He's one of the older kids in the series. He does show up in the sequel series, but I'm not gonna explain why he's in there until I get to that point. For now, I'm just gonna talk about his role in the first series. Like I said, he had a little sister who I won't talk about much for now, but when I get to her character, I'm gonna explain it.
I haven't been here in a while. It's the same, including the smell of your socks.
What are you talking about? I just finished cleaning the place.
I see. How long have these been here?
Quit nitpicking, TK. Dad's been putting in a lot of hours at the TV station, and I've been rehearsing with my band.
So, now I'm going to talk about two other characters that are going to show up also in the first episode. Matt and his little brother TK. Technically, they're not full brothers, they're half brothers because of something that happened with their family when TK was a little kid. But that's also connected with the movie portion, but I'll just make a quick reference. Basically what happens is TK sees two monsters outside his window. He tells his mom about it. She doesn't believe him because he's a little kid at the time. And then I'm guessing what happened was it caused an argument with their parents, which then caused them to split up and become half brothers and stuff. And because Matt doesn't actually get to see TK much because of them being half brothers, he looks to protect him a lot when he's in the Digiworld. And later on, as the show progresses, TK, it seems, gets to more independent. Like, dependent on himself rather than his brother and stuff. And his role in the second series, he's a lot older than he was in the first series, but he's a lot more mature. And his brother's not around that much to look after him because of the fact that his brother is in a rock band in the second series. Now since I'm talking about that, I'm going to talk now about Matt's character. Matt is, like I said, TK's older brother, but technically they're half brothers because of the incident in the Heighton View Terrace, Odaiba area about 4 years ago during the original series. And he looks to look after TK a lot when they're in the Digiworld. And at the end of the first series, he owns a rock, like he's the leader of a band. Now this is gonna sound kind of funny, but his stage name in the second series in his rock band is called the Digidestined, formerly known as Matt, which in my opinion is kind of giving away too much information and stuff. So basically, he's a good character. He argues a lot with Ty on certain things.
So tell me, Joe, are you still planning on being a doctor?
Joe is smart. He could be a doctor.
There's a lot more to it than that.
Joe could be whatever he wants.
It's what my dad wants me to be.
Since I referenced Joe's character in the previous mentioning of Matt's character, I'm going to talk about his character first. So basically, he's a little bit of a paranoia kind of person. In episode 7 especially, he tries to take care of the group a lot. Joe's character later on, like in the Dark Master portion, he gets tired of all the fighting, and apparently he became a doctor, but it wasn't exactly his choice. His father wanted it for him. And later on, like in the Dark Master saga, he and Mimi split up from the other group, and because they're fed up with the fighting and stuff. Since I'm also talking about Joe's character, I'm gonna mention his crest since he's one of the first people. He's one of the first characters to get his crest. Second, I should say, technically. Okay, so his crest is called the Crest of Reliability, which is kind of a weird name for a crest, in my opinion. After that, in the saga where they're back on Earth, his older brother Jim is telling him that he should live his own life and not what his dad wants him to be. But later on, we find out that he's going to medical school.
My new comedy act. They're having a talent show at the Children's Center, and the winner could win a new computer.
You tell jokes?
Bob was Newton surprised when he was hit on the head by an apple. Gee, I don't know why. He was sitting under a pear tree. So, what's black and white and green? Two skunks fighting over a pickle.
Okay, now I'm going to be talking about Izzy's character and his role in this series. For the first series, he's mostly a brainiac. He finds information about the digital world in different places. He's basically a computer nerd, and basically what happens is, in episode 5 especially, he makes an astounding discovery about the digital world and the creatures in it. Now, in the second series, he's more of a, like a mentor character to the 3 new Digidestined, plus Kari and TK, but I'm not going to explain that later. I'm going to explain that later. Also, there is a bit of a backstory to him mentioned in episode 5, where he overhears his parents talking about the truth about his existence, and that kind of freaks him out. He keeps it buried deep inside him at the time. He's, like I said, he's a computer nerd. He, at the start of the series, like around like episode 2 through 5, he gets this alien theory thing, and I'm kind of glad they abandoned it at like episode 5, because if they would have continued with that, that would have annoyed me so much. Anyway, another example is he's a very curious person, like he's very smart. And he has a laptop which has like a little emblem on it that looks like a pineapple kind of thing on it, which is kind of weird if you ask me.
I wanna sing a song that'll wake you up. And when you hear my voice, you'll call me a sweet buttercup.
First, I'm gonna talk about Mimi's character, since she is one of only 2 female characters at the start of the series. Okay, so basically she's a girl that loves the color pink, and when she gets transported to the Digiworld, like later on, she gets tired of all the fighting and stuff. Like in the Dark Master saga, she and Joe get tired of all the fighting, like I explained. Basically, she's complaining because she wants to find the others and get out of the Digiworld, whereas he's just pecking away on his computer and ignoring her. She likes the attention of being a princess so much that she pulls the Gekomon strings and makes excuses for why she won't finish her song. Her crest is called the Crest of Sincerity, although we don't know that for certain until the point where it's mentioned.
I've gotta do something to help them. Huh? I'm the only one left to fight my Otismon. It's no use. You can't do anything in your condition. Please understand, Sora. I have to go. No, Leomon, you can't. You'll get hurt. I won't let you. My decision is final. Sora, why can't you understand? Huh?
Now I think I'll just talk about one of the last characters I'm going to talk about for today, which is Sora's character. Sora's character, just as a quick reference, she does know Tai because of what happened at soccer camp, but like years after the events in the heightened Terrace Odaiba area with the 2 Digimon, but I'm not going to explain that part. Basically, her crest is called the Crest of Love. Her partner's name is Biyomon, which is basically a pink-like bird Digimon. And her best attack is called Spiral Twister, which is basically just a green, like, tornado kind of thing that she shoots out of her beak, which is kind of weird in my opinion. Her crest of love will never glow because her life was loveless. And that's basically because of what happened with her mom when she got injured playing soccer one time. And because of that, she's afraid that her crest will never glow and stuff. In like episode 16, we find out that her and Ty knew each other before the events of summer camp, and they were at soccer camp together and stuff. And after they leave the Digiworld after defeating a Pokemon, she gets emotional with Biyomon because of the fact that she's gonna miss her, and she's proud of her because of the fact that she helped her regain her relationship with her mother. So until tomorrow, I'll see you guys later.